The Earth breaks from the Galactic Council, humanity sparks, mystery, conflict, and panic. Part 1. The Departure Declaration. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Admiral Marcus Reynolds stepped onto the central platform. The space was massive, designed to accommodate representatives from over 200 species. Curved walls rose high above, dotted with hovering platforms where delegates from different worlds watched with various appendages and sensory organs. Admiral Reynolds stood tall in his crisp blue uniform. His gray hair and weathered face showed the weight of his 50 years of service to Earth. Today would be his most important mission yet. Esteemed representatives of the Galactic Council, he began, his voice firm and clear, I come before you with a message from Earth. After careful consideration and by unanimous vote of our global assembly, Earth hereby announces its complete withdrawal from the Galactic Council. Effective immediately, the chamber erupted in noise. Some delegates shouted questions while others buzzed or clicked in their native languages. The translation system struggled to keep up with the chaos. High Counselor Thravix rose from his seat at the head of the chamber. The tall, blue-skinned alien raised all four of his arms, calling for silence. His species, the Zelavians, had founded the Council 3,000 years ago, and still maintained the strongest influence. Admiral Reynolds, Thravix's voice boomed across the chamber. This is highly irregular. No world has withdrawn from the Council in over 500 years. What grievance drives Earth to such a drastic action? Reynolds kept his expression neutral. Earth has no grievances to present, High Counselor. We simply choose to chart our own path forward. All diplomatic missions to Earth will be suspended. All Council outposts in our solar system must be vacated within 30 Earth days. From her hidden location in the Earth Embassy, Director Eleanor West watched the proceedings through a secure feed. She was a short woman with dark skin and sharp eyes that missed nothing. As head of Earth's Intelligence Division, she had orchestrated much of what was about to happen. Her secure communication device buzzed. He's here, said her assistant. Ambassador Krell entered the room moments later. The alien stood nearly 7 feet tall with grayish skin and eyes that changed color based on his mood. Currently, they glowed a deep purple. Concern. Your representative delivers your message well, Krell said, his voice a low rumble. But you realize the Council will not accept this quietly. Director West nodded. We're counting on it. Did you bring what I requested? Krell removed a small crystalline device from his robes and placed it on the table. The complete Council archives as promised, including the classified sections about what they found in the Void Sector. And they still don't suspect your involvement with us? My species has served as record keepers for millennia. No one questions when we access the archives. Krell's eyes shifted to blue. But what your scientists discovered out there? The Council has hidden the truth for good reason. Some knowledge is dangerous. Back in the Council chamber, the debate had grown heated. Thravix pointed a long blue finger at Reynolds. You cannot simply leave, Admiral. Earth has benefited greatly from Council protection and technology. Your people were barely reaching your own moon when we found you. Reynolds smiled slightly. And we're grateful for the introduction to the galactic community. But humanity has always preferred to stand on its own feet. The Council will impose sanctions, Thravix threatened. Your trade routes will be cut off. Your colonies on Mars and Europa will be isolated. We're prepared for that outcome. In a private chamber adjacent to the main hall, Thravix met with his most trusted advisors after the session. Earth knows something, he hissed. Their technology has been advancing too quickly. The research facility they built near Neptune. Our spies have been unable to determine its purpose. A reptilian advisor named Sorix nodded. We should deploy the monitoring fleet immediately. Not just monitoring, Thravix said. I want our best operatives on this. Find out what they're hiding. Earth has always been problematic, too independent, too curious. If they've discovered something in deep space that they shouldn't have. At Earth's hidden command center beneath the Antarctic ice, Director West and her team monitored Council communications. The vast room was filled with advanced technology, much of it beyond what the Council believed humans possessed. They've taken the bait, she told the assembled military and scientific leaders. Thravix has ordered a blockade and sent intelligence operatives. Then we proceed as planned, said the head of Earth's Science Division. The Neptune facility is already transmitting false data. Meanwhile, the real work continues. West nodded and turned to a secure terminal. She placed her palm on the scanner and spoke clearly. Activate Protocol Prometheus. Across the solar system, hidden installations came online. On distant Pluto, massive energy collectors began to gather power. In the asteroid belt, automated factories accelerated production of specialized components. And deep in the ocean trenches of Earth, quantum computers processed data at speeds the Council couldn't imagine. In his private quarters, Admiral Reynolds removed his formal uniform and sat heavily in a chair. His official role was complete. Earth had made its declaration, and there was no going back now. He thought about the implications of what Earth's deep space explorers had discovered 6 months ago. Ancient technology, from a civilization that predated the Council by millions of years. Technology that seemed specifically designed for humans to use. His communication device chimed with an encrypted message from Director West. Protocol Prometheus activated. The Council took the bait. We have 18 hours before their fleet reaches the blockade positions. Reynolds sent a one-word reply. Understood. He looked out his window at the massive Council station that orbited Earth's moon. By tomorrow, all humans would be evacuated from it. The Council thought they were isolating Earth. But they didn't realize that humans had already deployed their revolutionary technology. Across Council space, in hundreds of locations, strange energy signatures began to appear and disappear randomly. The first stage of humanity's plan was now in motion. The Council had kept secrets for too long, treated Earth as a junior partner, hidden the truth about what lurked in the darkness between galaxies. That was about to change. As night fell over Earth's major cities, citizens looked up at the stars with a mixture of fear and pride. Most knew only that their world had declared independence from alien oversight. Few understood the real reason why, or that humanity was about to face its greatest challenge and perhaps its finest hour. The departure declaration was just the beginning. Earth breaks from the Galactic Council. Humanity sparks mystery, conflict, and panic suck. Part 2. Silent Revelations. 3 months had passed since Earth's dramatic withdrawal from the Galactic Council. The expected blockade was in place. Massive alien warships positioned at strategic points throughout the solar system. But strangely, Earth had made no attempt to break through. This puzzled the Council forces, who had prepared for conflict. What they didn't know was that Earth no longer needed traditional space routes. Deep within a hidden facility buried beneath the Pacific Ocean floor, Dr. Lydia Torres made final adjustments to the massive device that filled the chamber. The quantum displacement drive was humanity's greatest scientific achievement, a technology that allowed instantaneous travel to any point in space without passing through the intervening distance. Power level stable at 98%, she reported, brushing a strand of dark hair from her face. The test ship is ready for its 5th jump. Dr. Torres had barely slept in weeks. At 42, she was the world's foremost expert in quantum physics, though the Council had always considered human science primitive compared to their own. That misconception had been useful. On a view screen, they watched as a small, unmarked vessel disappeared from orbit around Mars and instantly reappeared near Jupiter, a distance that would normally take weeks to travel. Perfect execution, Torres said with a smile. Captain Drake reports all systems normal. Captain Jackson Drake commanded Earth's most advanced stealth vessel, the Pathfinder. The ship was designed to be virtually undetectable, even to the advanced sensors of the Council fleet. Drake was a tall, broad-shouldered man with dark skin and keen eyes that missed nothing. He had been chosen for this mission because of his calm under pressure and his brilliant tactical mind. Preparing for long-range jump, he informed his crew of 12 specialists. Next stop, the coordinates from the deep space probe. The crew worked silently at their stations. They all understood the importance of their mission. 3 months ago, an automated probe had discovered something extraordinary at the edge of charted space, something the Council had been hiding for centuries. The ship vanished from Jupiter's vicinity and reappeared 50 light-years away, near an unremarkable star not on any Council charts. Orbiting the 3rd planet was an ancient structure clearly not built by any known species. Approach with caution, Drake ordered. Full stealth protocols. As they neared the massive orbital platform, their sensors detected no energy signatures or signs of current habitation. The structure appeared to be millions of years old, yet showed no damage or decay. "It's exactly as the probe reported," said the science officer. "This facility predates the Council by eons." Meanwhile, on the Council capital world of Zalavia, Councillor Vexnar received disturbing reports from across Council space. The tall insectoid alien's antennae twitched with concern as he reviewed the data. "Another system-wide failure on Brax's colony," his aide reported. "All quantum communication networks went down simultaneously. Same pattern as the other 11 incidents this month." Vexnar clicked his mandibles in frustration. "And still no explanation?" "Our technicians found something unusual." The aide handed over a data crystal. Microscopic machines of unknown origin were discovered in the main control systems of each affected world. Vexnar examined the enlarged images of the nanomachines. They were incredibly sophisticated, far beyond Council technology. "Have we identified their source?" "The atomic structure suggests Earth manufacturing." Vexnar's compound eyes widened. "Impossible. Humans don't possess this level of technology." "Apparently," the aide said quietly, "they do." Back on the ancient platform, Captain Drake and his team made a startling discovery. The facility contained a vast database in something else, an artificial intelligence, construct that identified itself as Professor Aldrich. The AI appeared as a holographic image of an elderly human male with a beard and formal clothing from centuries past. "I have waited a very long time for humans to find this place," the construct said in perfect English. Drake's hand rested on his weapon. "You were expecting us." "How is that possible?" "Because you were designed to come here eventually," Aldrich replied. "Your species was engineered with certain capabilities by my creators, capabilities that the Council races lack." On Earth, Director West received the encoded transmission from the Pathfinder with growing amazement. The AI was providing information that changed everything they thought they knew about human history. "The Council found and suppressed this information," she told Earth's Leadership Council. "According to this Professor Aldrich, humans were genetically modified by an ancient race called the Predecessors long before we were discovered by the Council. We were designed to be their successors, with unique neural pathways that allow us to interface with their technology." "Is that why their advanced systems respond to us?" asked a general. "Exactly. The Predecessors built a vast network throughout the galaxy, including the quantum displacement technology we've rediscovered. The Council has been studying it for centuries but could never activate the most advanced systems. Because they needed human operators," another leader concluded. "And they knew this," Director West continued. "That's why they've kept us under careful observation and restricted our development. They fear what we might become." Across Council space, more systems began to experience mysterious failures. The nanomachines that Vexnar had discovered were part of Earth's silent strategy, mapping the Council's infrastructure, gathering intelligence, and preparing for what was to come. High Councillor Thravix called an emergency session. Earth's withdrawal was just the beginning of a coordinated plan, he told the assembled delegates. "They have technology we didn't know about and are somehow penetrating our most secure systems." A reptilian councillor hissed in disbelief. "Humans are primitive compared to us. How could they achieve this?" "I don't know," Thravix admitted, "but I'm implementing emergency protocols. All human visitors on Council worlds are to be detained and questioned. All records relating to Earth must be secured." What Thravix didn't know was that it was already too late. Earth had accessed the Council's most classified archives months ago, with Ambassador Krell's help. On the Pathfinder, Captain Drake and his crew were preparing to leave the ancient station when proximity alarms sounded. "Council warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel," reported the tactical officer. 5 cruisers. "They've detected us." Drake remained calm. "They must have followed our quantum signature. Prepare for immediate jump. Coordinates? Earth. We need to deliver this information directly." As enemy vessels launched fighters toward them, the Pathfinder activated its quantum displacement drive. In an instant they vanished, but not before transmitting a massive data package through a secure quantum channel that the Council couldn't detect or block. The data contained coordinates for something even more significant, a massive structure hidden in dark space between galaxies, something that the Professor Aldrich called the key to ascension. When the Pathfinder reappeared in Earth orbit, Captain Drake immediately requested an emergency meeting with Earth's leadership. "The Council knows we found the station," he reported, "but they don't know what we've learned, and they don't know about the larger structure yet." Dr. Torres studied the technical data they'd brought back. "This confirms our theories. The quantum displacement drive we built is just a primitive version of the predecessor technology. With this information, we can improve it tenfold." Director West nodded grimly. "We need to accelerate our plans. The Council will move against us now that they know we've discovered one of the predecessor sites." Across the solar system, Earth's hidden facilities increased production of advanced weapons and ships. The nanomachine network throughout Council space continued to gather intelligence and cause strategic disruptions. A new phase was beginning. Earth had made its declaration of independence, discovered its true heritage, and now understood why the Council had feared human potential for so long. The silent revelations were over. The time for action had come. Earth breaks from the Galactic Council. Humanity sparks mystery, conflict, and panic. Part 3. Escalation. The attack began without warning. Council warships appeared near Earth's outer colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan. Their weapons blazed across the darkness of space, targeting communication arrays and defense platforms first. In the command center beneath Earth's Antarctic ice, General Alexei Volkov received the incoming reports with a grim expression. His weathered face showed no fear, only calm determination. As commander of Earth's Defense Force, he had prepared for this moment. "They've launched a coordinated attack on all outer colonies," his communications officer reported. "Heavy bombardment on the Mars settlements. Civilian casualties reported." Volkov's voice remained steady. "Activate the Aegis protocol." Throughout the solar system, hidden defense systems suddenly came online. On Mars, massive shield generators created energy barriers that the Council weapons couldn't penetrate. From beneath the icy surfaces of Europa and Titan, automated defense platforms emerged and returned fire with startling accuracy. The Council forces had expected an easy victory against primitive human defenses. What they encountered instead was technology that matched or exceeded their own. On the Council flagship, Supreme Admiral Genthar watched in disbelief as the battle unfolded. The tall, four-armed alien had commanded Council forces for over a century. He had never seen weapons like these. "Impossible," he muttered. "Their defensive capabilities are far beyond what our intelligence suggested." His second-in-command, a reptilian officer, studied the sensor readings. The human weapons appeared to be based on predecessor technology, but only partially. They've combined it with their own designs. Genthar's yellow eyes narrowed. "Pull back the attack squadrons. Regroup at the secondary position. We need to reassess." Back on Earth, Dr. Morgan Blackwood worked frantically in her laboratory. The neural specialist had made a breakthrough in understanding humanity's connection to the predecessor technology. And now that knowledge was critical to their survival. "The neural scans confirm it," she told Director West over a secure channel. "Humans possess unique pathways in our brains that allow direct interface with predecessor systems. It's not something that evolved naturally. We were engineered," West concluded. "Yes, and there's more." Blackwood displayed a complex neural map on her screen. "These pathways are dormant in most humans but can be activated. The process is similar to learning a language but much faster." "How many people have you tested?" "Over 10,000 from diverse genetic backgrounds. The pathways are present in all of them. It's part of what makes us human." This discovery explained why Earth scientists had been able to reverse engineer the predecessor technology so quickly. The human mind was literally designed to understand it. In orbit around Jupiter, Earth's defensive fleet engaged the Council forces that had regrouped there. Human ships were fewer in number, but equipped with the improved quantum displacement drives that Dr. Torres had refined. They appeared and disappeared around the enemy vessels, firing precision strikes before vanishing again. General Volkov watched the tactical display as Earth forces pushed the Council fleet back. "Maintain defensive positions," he ordered. "We're not trying to defeat them completely, just demonstrate our capabilities." "Sir," his aide asked, "why not press the advantage?" "Because this isn't just about winning a battle. It's about sending a message." That message was received clearly by Supreme Admiral Genthar. As his damaged flagship retreated to a safe distance, he sent an urgent communication to the High Council. "We have severely underestimated the humans," he reported. Their technology is comparable to our most advanced systems. Some aspects even surpass our capabilities. I recommend immediate diplomatic re-engagement before this conflict escalates further. High Counselor Thravix was not pleased by this suggestion. There will be no negotiations with a species that has stolen predecessor technology and deployed it against us. Prepare the main battle fleet. We will crush this human rebellion completely. What neither the Council nor Earth yet realized was that their conflict had triggered something that had been dormant for millions of years, deep in Council space. On worlds that housed ancient ruins, strange energy signatures began to appear. Massive structures that had been thought to be merely historical monuments suddenly activated. Artificial intelligences awoke from eons of sleep. The Sentinel network was coming online. On a remote Council research outpost, scientists watched in alarm as a massive pyramid-shaped structure rose from beneath the planet's surface. Similar reports came from 27 other worlds across the galaxy. A technician stared at the readings in disbelief. The activation signature matches the quantum frequencies we detected from Earth. The lead researcher's face paled. The Sentinels are responding to human activity. They recognize them as predecessor inheritors. On Earth, the Global Defense Network detected these activations simultaneously. Dr. Torres analyzed the data with growing excitement. It's a network, she told Earth's Leadership Council. The Sentinels form a galaxy-wide defense system built by the predecessors. They're awakening because we've activated enough of their technology to trigger the recognition protocols. Can we control them? Asked Director West. I believe so. The neural interface Dr. Blackwood discovered should allow us to communicate with the network. General Volkov studied the tactical implications. If these Sentinels recognize us as rightful inheritors of predecessor technology, the Council will have no choice but to acknowledge our position. Or they'll try to destroy us even more desperately, West countered. We need to move quickly before they can mobilize their main fleet. The decision was made. Earth would launch a counter-offensive, not against Council civilian worlds, but targeting their military installations and command centers. The goal was to demonstrate Earth's power while minimizing loss of life. Using the quantum displacement technology, Earth forces appeared simultaneously at 12 strategic locations throughout Council space. Their attacks were precise and overwhelming. Council defense systems, designed to counter conventional approaches, proved ineffective against Earth's new tactics. Dr. Blackwood led the team that would attempt to connect with the Sentinel network. In a specialized facility, she and 11 other scientists with the strongest neural compatibility were connected to advanced interface systems. Focus on the signal pattern I showed you, she instructed her team. Think of it as a greeting in a language you're just learning. Their combined neural output was amplified and broadcast toward the nearest activated Sentinel. For several tense minutes there was no response. Then suddenly the facility's systems lit up with incoming data, complex and alien, but somehow familiar to the human minds receiving it. We've established contact, Blackwood announced, her voice filled with wonder. The Sentinel acknowledges us as successor species. Through this connection, Earth gained critical information. The Sentinels had been created to guard against a threat the predecessors had faced, a threat that eventually led to their extinction. That same threat was returning, and the Council had known about it for centuries. Supreme Admiral Genthar received the news of Earth's counterattack with resignation. He had predicted this outcome. Now, with Earth forces demonstrating their ability to strike anywhere in Council space and the Sentinels responding to human control, the strategic balance had shifted completely. We must inform the High Council of the full situation, he told his officers. The humans have awakened the Sentinel network. If they gain complete control of it, they could dominate the entire galaxy, his second-in-command finished. No, Genthar corrected. Something worse is coming. The Council archives contain the truth about why the predecessors built the Sentinels in the first place. If humans have accessed that information, they know what we face. Back on Earth, General Volkov received reports of the counteroffensive's success. Council military installations had been disabled with minimal casualties. Their main communications network was disrupted, and most importantly, the Sentinel connection was growing stronger. Phase 3 complete, he informed Earth's leadership. We've demonstrated our capabilities and established control over multiple Sentinel nodes. Director West nodded in satisfaction. Now we deliver our terms, not just for peace, but for a new galactic order, one where humanity takes its rightful place. As Earth prepared its message to the Council, the Sentinel network continued to awaken across the galaxy. And at the edge of the galaxy, ancient sensor arrays detected something massive moving inward from the dark space between galaxies. The threat that had destroyed the predecessors was returning. And despite all their advancement, despite the escalation of conflict between Earth and the Council, neither side was fully prepared for what was coming. Earth breaks from the Galactic Council. Humanity sparks mystery, conflict, and panic some. Part 4. The awakening President Olivia Reyes stood before the Global Assembly, her posture straight and confident despite the weight of her responsibilities. At 57, she had led Earth through its most transformative period, from a junior member of the Galactic Council to an independent power challenging the established order. Citizens of Earth, she began, her voice broadcasting to every corner of the planet and to all human colonies. The time has come to share the full truth about why we withdrew from the Galactic Council. Massive screens displayed images of the ancient predecessor technology and the awakening sentinels across the galaxy. 6 months ago, our deep space explorers discovered something the Council had hidden for centuries. An ancient civilization called the predecessors once ruled our galaxy. They created wonders beyond imagination, including the quantum displacement technology we now use, and they designed humanity, genetically engineered our ancestors to one day inherit their legacy. Murmurs spread through the assembly. Though rumors had circulated, this was the first official confirmation. The Council discovered this truth long ago, but kept it hidden. They feared what humanity might become. More importantly, they concealed a threat that destroyed the predecessors, a threat that is returning now. The Council knew about this danger but chose to hide rather than prepare. On screens across Earth, images appeared showing massive objects moving toward Council space from the galactic rim. The President's expression grew more grave. We face an enemy called the Convergence, a collective consciousness that consumes advanced civilizations. It destroyed the predecessors despite all their technology. Now it returns, sensing our advancement. The Council detected its approach 50 years ago, but chose secrecy over preparation. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Oracle was executing the most extensive information operation in history. The synthetic being appeared as a glowing blue humanoid form composed of shifting data patterns. Created by Earth's most brilliant programmers and quantum physicists, the Oracle had gained access to the Council's classified archives through the quantum network. Distributing archive segment 7 alpha to all major Council worlds, the Oracle reported to its human handlers. Estimated reach, 62% of Council citizens. Throughout Council space, secure communication channels were hijacked. Classified records appeared on public networks. Citizens of 1,000 worlds learned the truth their leaders had hidden, about humanity's engineered origins, about the predecessor technology, and about the approaching threat of the Convergence. On the Council capital world, High Counselor Thravix faced growing unrest. Protests erupted outside the Council chambers. Military leaders demanded answers. And now, a new complication had arrived. Commander Dax stood before the emergency council session, his uniform marked with the insignia of the Council's elite forces. But now he spoke against his former masters. "I have seen the evidence with my own eyes," the tall, gray-skinned alien announced. "I have verified the human claims. The Convergence is real, and the Council has known about it for decades while doing nothing to prepare." Thravix rose from his seat, eyes flashing with anger. "This is treason, Commander." "No," Dax replied calmly. "Treason was hiding the truth from those you claim to protect. Treason was suppressing humanity's development when they might be our best hope for survival." Across Council space, more military leaders were declaring support for Earth's position. A faction of aliens led by Commander Dax had been secretly working with humans, convinced by the evidence that the Council's leadership had failed. Back on Earth, Director Thomas Frost oversaw the activation of the Prometheus initiative from a secure facility beneath the Atlantic Ocean. The director was younger than most in Earth leadership, just 40, but had risen quickly due to his brilliant, strategic mind. "Activate the dormant agents," he ordered. Throughout Council space, Humans who had remained behind when Earth withdrew suddenly received coded signals. These were not military personnel, but scientists, engineers, and specialists who had volunteered for this mission. They began activating hidden technologies they had placed in critical locations months before. 87% activation confirmed, reported Frost's assistant. Defense systems on 26 Council worlds are now under our control. Frost nodded in satisfaction. The Council believed we withdrew in anger or fear. They never understood that every step was planned, from our departure to the awakening of the Sentinels. As human agents activated their systems, the ancient defense grid built by the predecessors continued to power up. Massive structures that had been dormant for millions of years hummed with energy. Planetary shields formed over worlds in the convergence's projected path. Quantum communication networks established. Links between previously isolated systems. Dr. Blackwood and her team continued to deepen their neural connection. With the Sentinel network, we're receiving new information, she reported to Director West. The Sentinels are detecting multiple objects, approaching from the void between galaxies. Estimated arrival time, 3 weeks. West's expression remained calm, but her eyes reflected concern. Are the defense systems ready? Partially. The Sentinels were designed to work with living predecessors as operators. We're learning to interface with them, but it's like learning to pilot an alien spacecraft while in combat. On the outer edge of Council space, Supreme Admiral Genthar made a difficult decision. His fleet, the main fighting force of the Council, had been ordered to attack Earth. Instead, he directed his ships toward the approaching convergence. The High Council has lost its way, he told his assembled officers. They would have us fight humans while a greater threat approaches. I will not sacrifice your lives in a pointless conflict when the real enemy is at our door. His second-in-command looked concerned. This is mutiny, Admiral. This is survival, Genthar corrected. Send a message to Earth's military command. Tell them we offer our ships and our expertise against the common enemy. The alliance was forming, not through diplomatic channels, but through the shared understanding of those who recognized the true threat. Human forces with their unique ability to control predecessor technology. Council military units led by commanders like Genthar and Dax. Scientists from a dozen species working together to understand the ancient defense systems. As these forces mobilized, the Oracle continued to spread information throughout the galaxy. Knowledge that had been restricted to the highest levels of Council leadership was now available to all. The truth about humanity's engineered origins, the history of the predecessors and their fall, the nature of the approaching enemy. On a distant world near the galactic edge, something unexpected happened. A stasis chamber hidden deep beneath the planet's surface activated after millions of years. Its single occupant, the last surviving member of the predecessor species, awakened. The being who would later be called the progenitor opened eyes that had been closed since before humans walked upright on Earth. The chamber's systems provided a neural update on the current state of the galaxy, and the ancient being processed the information with growing interest. Humans had found their heritage. The Sentinels were awakening. The defense grid was powering up, and the convergence was returning. The progenitor sent a quantum signal that bypassed all known communication networks. This signal reached Earth directly, connecting with the neural interface team led by Dr. Blackwood. The scientists gasped collectively as a new presence entered their shared mental space. Unlike the mechanical precision of the Sentinels, this mind was organic yet ancient beyond comprehension. We are detected, the alien thought conveyed. The inheritors have claimed their legacy. The final defense begins. President Reyes received the news with a mixture of awe and determination. A living predecessor has awakened. This confirms everything we discovered. We were created for this moment, to face the threat that destroyed our makers. Director Frost's network of human agents continued to secure strategic positions throughout Council space. Commander Dax led the growing faction of Council species, who had broken with the old leadership. Admiral Genthar's fleet moved to intercept the approaching convergence. And from Earth, a message was broadcast to every world, every ship, every corner of the galaxy where intelligent life existed. The time for division has passed. A threat approaches that will consume us all unless we stand together. Earth extends its hand in alliance not as conquerors, but as inheritors of the predecessor legacy. Our unique ability to control their technology makes us essential to the coming battle. But we cannot win alone. Join us. Together, we will face the convergence and preserve all our futures. As the message spread, massive objects became visible at the edge of the galaxy's sensor range. The convergence was no longer a distant threat but an approaching reality. Dark shapes moved against the backdrop of stars, not ships in the conventional sense but vast organisms that consumed energy and matter alike. The final stage was set. The ancient defense grid hummed with power. The last predecessor had awakened, and humanity, the engineered inheritors, prepared to face the destiny they had been created for eons ago. Earth breaks from the Galactic Council. Humanity sparks mystery, conflict, and panic. Part 5. New Dawn. The convergence arrived with terrifying speed and power. What had appeared as distant objects at the galaxy's edge now bloomed into massive structures that defied conventional understanding. They were not ships but living organisms spanning hundreds of kilometers. A hive consciousness that consumed energy, matter, and information. Admiral Helena Stone watched from the bridge of the Earth flagship Defiance as the first wave approached. Stone was a veteran of Earth's old space fleet, now commanding humanity's most advanced vessel. Her silver hair was cut short, and her eyes reflected both determination and the weight of responsibility. All defense grid stations report ready, her tactical officer announced. Sentinel network at full power. Allied Council forces in position. Stone nodded. Begin the engagement sequence. Remember the strategy. We're not trying to destroy them directly. We need to herd them toward the quantum trap. Throughout the defensive line, Earth vessels use their quantum displacement technology to appear and disappear around the approaching enemy. They fired precisely calibrated energy beams not to damage but to guide the convergence toward a specific region of space. The Council ships, led by Admiral Genthar, provided supporting fire. Though their vessels lacked the quantum displacement technology, their conventional weapons were powerful and their crews experienced. The humans' strategy is working, Genthar observed as the convergence entities changed course, following the path laid out for them. Their understanding of the predecessor defense systems exceeds even our best scholars. His second-in-command watched the tactical display. They were designed for this purpose, Admiral. We should have recognized their potential instead of fearing it. As the battle unfolded, Grand Archon Krelthax, the new leader of the Reformed Council faction, coordinated the combined fleet from the Council capital. The Archon had risen to power after Thravix was removed, representing those who recognize the need for alliance with Earth. The first wave is approaching the containment zone, reported a communications officer. Earth forces have successfully guided them into position. Krelthax's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of satisfaction in his species. Prepare the quantum fold generators. We'll have one chance to activate the trap. On Earth, the progenitor worked with Dr. Blackwood and her team through the neural interface. The last surviving member of the predecessor race appeared physically as a tall, slender being, with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to contain galaxies. Its true communication happened not through speech but through direct neural connection. Your minds adapt quickly, the progenitor observed as the human team navigated the complex systems of the Sentinel network. We designed this potential into your ancestors, but you have exceeded our expectations. Why did you create us? Dr. Blackwood asked, the question shared by all humanity. We faced extinction from the convergence. Our technology was advanced, but our biology was incompatible with the neural systems needed to defeat them. So we created a new species, humanity, with neural pathways specifically designed to interface with our defense grid. You were our contingency plan, our legacy, our hope for the future. As they spoke, the team continued directing the Sentinel network, coordinating with the fleet engaged in battle. The Sentinels, massive structures positioned throughout the galaxy, channeled energy into the quantum trap that waited for the convergence. In space, Admiral Stone's fleet continued the delicate work of guiding the enemy. The convergence entities were intelligent and powerful, attempting to break formation and attack vulnerable worlds. Each time they tried, human ships would appear in their path, drawing their attention back to the planned route. They're learning our patterns, Stone observed as the massive entities adjusted their approach. Implement variation sequence Delta. Her fleet changed tactics, using new configurations to keep the convergence off balance. The Council ships under Genthar provided covering fire, protecting the human vessels during their vulnerable moments between quantum jumps. The quantum trap was nearly ready. Based on predecessor designs but enhanced by human innovation, it would create a pocket dimension, a space outside normal space-time where the convergence could be contained. Director James Winters, Earth's representative in the new alliance, coordinated the operation from a command center on the neutral world of Proxima. Winters had been a diplomat before Earth's withdrawal from the Council and now found himself helping forge a new galactic order. Quantum field generators at 85% capacity, he announced to the assembled leaders of various species. We need to hold the convergence in position for 3 more minutes. On the front lines, Admiral Stone's flagship took a direct hit from one of the convergence entities. The ship shuddered, shields failing along one section. Reroute power from non-essential systems, Stone ordered calmly. We need to maintain position. Her crew worked frantically to stabilize the ship. The Defiance was critical to the battle plan. Its enhanced quantum system served as the primary link between the human fleet and the Sentinel network. Throughout the galaxy, civilians of thousands of species watched the battle through the Oracle's broadcasts. The synthetic being had established a galaxy-wide information network that bypassed traditional communication channels. For the first time, the truth was available to all, not filtered through Council propaganda or Earth's perspective, but raw and unedited. The convergence was known to the Council for generations, the Oracle revealed to the trillions watching. Evidence exists in the highest classified archives, yet preparation was minimal. The old Council leadership chose secrecy over readiness. These revelations continued to shift public opinion throughout Council space. The alliance with Earth, once seen as collaboration with rebels, was now recognized as necessary for survival. As the battle reached its critical phase, the progenitor sent a powerful signal through the neural network. The trap is ready, it communicated to the human operators. Now we must lure the primary consciousness into the containment field. Admiral Stone received the message and implemented the final phase of the plan. Her damaged flagship used its quantum drive to appear directly in the path of the largest convergence entity. The massive organism, sensing an opportunity, surged forward to consume the vessel. All power to forward shields, Stone ordered. Prepare for emergency jump on my mark. The crew braced as the entity engulfed their ship in tendrils of dark energy. Warning systems blared throughout the vessel. The shields were failing rapidly. Now, Stone commanded. The Defiance vanished, reappearing outside the trap zone just as the quantum field generators activated. A brilliant light flashed across space as the pocket dimension formed, capturing the convergence entities inside. Containment field stable, reported Stone's science officer, his voice filled with disbelief. It worked. They're trapped. Throughout the galaxy, the Sentinel network hummed with power, maintaining the quantum prison that held the convergence. The trap wasn't a permanent solution, but it would hold the enemy long enough to develop more permanent defenses. In the aftermath, leaders from Earth and Council worlds gathered on Proxima to formalize the alliance that had formed out of necessity. President Reyes represented Earth, while Grand Archon Krelthak spoke for the Reformed Council. Today marks a new beginning. Reyes addressed the assembled delegates, not as separate powers, not as rivals, but as inheritors of a shared legacy. The predecessors created humanity for this purpose, to help protect all sentient life against threats like the convergence. Krelthak stepped forward. The old council failed in its responsibility. We hid the truth and feared what humanity might become instead of embracing your potential. That era is over. Together they signed the Galactic Concordat, a new framework for cooperation that recognized Earth's unique role while ensuring all species had equal voice in decision-making. The document acknowledged humanity as the engineered inheritors of the predecessor legacy, but committed them to use that heritage for the benefit of all. Director Winters, who had helped draft the agreement, watched with satisfaction. This is what we hoped for when we left the council, he told Admiral Stone, who stood beside him. Not domination, but recognition. Not isolation, but true partnership. Stone nodded thoughtfully. And there's still so much to learn. The predecessor technology we've activated is just the beginning. The progenitor, attending through a holographic projection, observed the proceedings with approval. You have fulfilled your purpose, inheritors. You united the galaxy against the convergence, something my species failed to do. Now your true work begins. What work is that? Asked Dr. Blackwood, who had become the primary human liaison to the ancient being. To build something new, neither a return to the predecessor era, nor a continuation of the flawed council system, something that embraces the strength of diversity, while recognizing the unique contributions each species brings. As the ceremony concluded, ships from dozens of worlds formed an honor guard in Proxima's orbit, Earth vessels with their quantum technology, Council warships with their powerful conventional weapons, and in the distance, the massive forms of the Sentinels now fully awakened and integrated into the new galactic defense network.